All right, we're back again here in the Sort of Sports Podcast, episode 171. Braden Hayes is not with me this week. Braden and I's schedule just didn't line up. I ended up going to the Guardians game Tuesday night, which was electric. Hopefully David Fry is all right as he took a Tariq Skubal fastball to the mouth, which I can imagine only bad things come of that. So I really feel for him. Hopefully, he gets the best treatment possible. But that is why I didn't line up very well. Tuesday night's really the only night it works well for Braden to record. So I just said to him, all right, that's fine. We'll be back again together next week. So this pod, we're just doing EV passes and primetime picks with Austin Fisher. There's a couple things I did want to say. Just an insane Week 3 slate. I mean, absolutely bonkers. We got the Browns upsetting the Packers. The Dolphins showing a little bit more life than we thought they would against the Bills. That was interesting. But the big one, of course, we got to talk about is my Carolina Panthers winning 33-0. And I was telling my friends I just have zero concept of what this team is now. First win, we just look bad. We look bad. Second win, we looked terrible in the first half, pretty good in the second half. Third win, we were incredible the whole way. So hopefully that's the new normal. I don't understand how Avero finally got the defense to be good. It doesn't really make any sense to me. But I'm more than happy that the defense magically was great against the Falcons. And Bryce Young, for some reason, always plays well against the Falcons. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the Falcons did to him in the past life. Maybe his ex-girlfriend was a Falcons fan. But regardless, he always destroys the Falcons. So I don't understand. 33-0, I cannot remember a 30-point win in my entire fandom as a Carolina Panthers fan. Last time I think they won by 30 points or more was back in 2014, and I wasn't even a Panthers fan then. I didn't even have an NFL team then. I wasn't even paying that much attention at that time. So that's just insane. But huge win. I'm really interested to see this week against the Patriots, because if the Panthers win this week against the Patriots, it's like, okay, maybe this is a pretty good team. And we're kind of back on track to me being excited for the season. Right now, we're kind of in a bit of a weird space because I'm just not sure how good we are or how bad we are. This upcoming game, like I said, against New England is really going to decide a lot of what I think, because I think New England is not a great team. They have pieces I like. I like their offense. I don't think their defense is very good. So if we get another win here and we look strong, I'm going to feel pretty good about the Carolina Panthers. And I think I'll be back on believing in us, because I said till week 4. I was giving them till week 4 to decide how I felt about the team, right? To prove to me that they had something. And I give them credit. They played really well last week. And of course, we always play well in the uniform combo. The black helmet, blue jersey, black pants. That's our best-looking uniform. We always play well in those. So that's, a bit of a given, right? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to talk about. There was, obviously, Justin Herbert got another win. A strong win. He did play very well. There's no denying. That was a really, really great drive by him at the end of the fourth quarter. And that's the type of game that the Chargers, I think, from a few years back would lose. And I think we might legitimately be seeing a difference in Justin Herbert. I don't want to admit this to anybody, but there's a real chance that Justin Herbert is finally ascending to where I wanted him to be and where I wished he would be. And apparently all it took was me breaking up with him and stop believing in him, which is quite insulting, but really funny, I have to admit. So we're going to see where this Herbert thing progresses. Them and the Colts are kind of interesting to see which one is fake, because one of them is fake, and I'm willing to bet it's the Colts. It would be really fun if both of them stay good for the whole season. And this is legitimately, as Demi Lovato once sang, this is real, this is me, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be now, and let the light shine on me. If that's true about the Colts and Chargers, it'd be really fun. But I'm not sure if I can comfortably agree with that at this moment in time. But that is where I'm at with everything. I think that is it. I think we're ready to go into... Oh, and the Lions. The Lions are still the Lions. There was no reason to be concerned. But anyways, I'll be back with you all again Wednesday morning with Braden. And then once again, next Thursday, we'll have the EV passes and primetime picks with Mr. Austin Fisher. So without further ado, we're going to kick it over to me and Austin. We had a really nice time doing some fun EV passes. Talk about last week. Had a couple bad beats from Mr. Fisher. So, it was a great time. So I'm going to kick that over to that. And, one battle after another. I might be seeing it this weekend. Very excited. It's supposed to be a masterpiece. Hopefully, I agree. I haven't watched a ton of movies lately. This is going to be the least amount of movies I watch in a given year since I started keeping track in 2022, and since I started doing the sort of sporty. So, gonna be maybe like a, I say shorter sort of sporties, but that might mean 2 hours instead of 2.5. I'm trying to remember what the length of last year's sort of sporties was because I think it was the longest I ever went. Let me look back on last year's sort of sporties because it was a very long one. The 2024 sort of sporties were nearly 3 hours, so 2 hours and 58 minutes. I think that's the longest we ever went. This one might be 2 hours. Music, I think, is going to be relatively similar to last year. I don't see a lot of change. I'm kind of stuck in my ways with music. I mean, I just like what I like, and I just continue to listen to a lot of country music. I mix in some other stuff. I like other music. It's just I tend to listen to mostly country anymore. But as far as the sort of sporties this year, going to be less movies going into the Hall of Fame. Probably the least amount we've ever put in. So that'll be interesting. It's gonna be a little more cutthroat this year. Like I haven't watched a movie in the month of September, and I know the movie I'm going to watch tonight. I'm going over to my buddy RJ's. We're watching the Lego Batman movie. I already watched that in August, so I'm just watching it again. So one battle after another. I am excited for Paul Thomas Anderson. So if you are interested in seeing it, Leonardo DiCaprio, Paul Thomas Anderson, that should be a decent enough selling point for you if you know who those people are. So. All right, that is it from me. I will, if I really feel passionate about one battle after another, I'll record a pod. I imagine I'm not going to be that passionate, but really left for me in movies this year, it's that, Running Man, Avatar. Is there anything else? I think it's it. I think it's it. I think it's all the big movies. Anyways, excited for the Chad Power Show. Been watching a lot of TV lately, which is different for me. Peacemaker, Flash, and then pretty soon Chad Powers. But all right, let's kick it over to me and Austin. All right, Austin Fisher is back again for another week of the EV passes and primetime picks. My mother actually has been using some of your EV passes and her bets. So, my potential inheritance is being gambled now because of Austin Fisher. So it might be a bad thing.
Yeah, I hope she's taking the right picks because we've gone 3-3 in both the last 2 weeks. So I'm just hoping she's taking the good fortune ones and not the bad fortune ones, or you'll be dropping out here pretty soon.
Side piece. Before we start, did you see the Lane Kiffin piece of this week?
I did, and I'm thoroughly excited for Saturday now.
So let's set the stage for everybody at home. Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss's coach since 2020, which I felt like he's been there a long time. One of my
I thought
favorite
so too.
coaches in college football. I love Lane Kiffin. I think he's fun. And his daughter, who is our age, is in college and has recently announced she's dating, is it Whit Wells is the name?
Something like that, yeah.
Linebacker for LSU, star player for the Tigers. The week of Ole Miss LSU. So there's really two options here, Austin. Either the one is she is clearly Lane Kiffin's least favorite daughter, or two, sleeper agent. Either way, this is fun. The funniest part of it was somebody tweeted this at Lane Kiffin about it, and he said take the over. So I put $1 on it.
I did see that tweet actually, and I might have to reciprocate and take the over.
I mean, I thought about doing five, but I'm like, okay, it's only funny if it hits.
True. Yeah, you're not in it for the financial part of it. You're in it for the comedic effect. I agree.
Yeah, it's like a 95-cent win. So I'm almost doubling my money.
It's terrific.
All right, so what do you have for me this week as far as EV passes and how we do last week? Let's start with that.
Yeah, last week. Well, if you followed through, my first pick and my most passionate one was Rams plus 3.5. And I actually had the Rams straight up winning in overtime, which was looking great. They had a 26-7 lead. Eagle offense couldn't do anything. Jalen Hurts has been one of the worst quarterbacks in football this year, despite the team's success. But the Rams down the stretch, just kind of possession after possession, got a little bit more lenient defensively, ended up coughing up the lead. But here we are. Let's set the scene. Down by one with a game-winning field goal opportunity. Covering. If they make, great. If they miss, great. All you have to do is avoid the unthinkable, the blocked kick returned for a touchdown. And somehow, some way, it felt like Oklahoma Auburn on Saturday. I'm not sure if you were following that.
Yeah,
That
I
was
followed
that
that loosely.
that was on Scott Van Pelt's bad beats for this week too. Spread was 6.5. Auburn quarterback takes a safety to cover by half a point, which was ridiculous. And I was on OU spread, which was awesome. Regardless, though, I got the other end of the bad beat the very next day.
Now it's back out. Yeah.
Right, it had to with the block kick. So I, as a Browns fan, was watching the end of that game against the Packers. Finally, I don't know when the last time you and I got to celebrate a win in the same week. So we're going to take this with a grain of salt. However, was watching that game and I checked the Rams Eagles score on red zone right after that. I'm like, how did it get to 33 to 26? Well, the unthinkable became thinkable when a blocked kick became a return touchdown by a 300-pound D tackle, nonetheless.
Yeah.
So that was a bad beat. But overall, we went
For what
three
it's
and three
worth, I
last week.
don't, the both teams, I was thinking like Panthers won 5 games last year, Browns won four, right? I don't know if
Mhm.
any of them came in the same week. You might be right. I don't think we've ever celebrated in
Yeah,
the
we
Bryce Young
won
era. I don't think we've ever won the same
three.
week as Browns.
Week two, I think week 7 and then 11 sounds about right.
I mean, I could check that for next time. It's a
Yeah,
fun fact.
it would be. We'll get that going next week. But overall, though, we went 3 and 3. Missed Rams spread, Texans money line, and Cowboys money line. And then hit on the Bengals Vikings over, which the Vikings hit on their own. Chargers money line, they have been my ride or dies this whole year. And then Chiefs -6, which that game was kind of as you anticipated. Just ugly,
I
just
told
awful
you.
football,
I told you
terrible.
it's a weird
Yeah.
team.
If you know what, I'm not even going to give him the option. Russ's brain needs to go to neuroscience once he's dead. Like that whole goal to go sequence with a first and goal pass in the tunnel, second and goal pass to a cameraman, and fourth and goal off the upright. I actually was almost in tears laughing at that sequence. It's just not even funny how bad Russ played this week.
No, it was an especially bad performance from him. I was listening to Bill Simmons' show, and Cousin Sal said it was like it was him or Cousin Sal said it was like someone in the crowd said, I'll pay you $1 million if for the next 3 downs you throw it at the goalpost. Because the only place he threw it was like at the uprights.
He had 5 receivers running around in fourth and goal and gave
And he's
zero of
Malik
them.
Neighbors, who's like at
Right.
this point is Malik Neighbors. We'd say Malik Neighbors is a top 5 wide receiver.
hmm I would
Like
agree.
I think at this point it's probably Jefferson, Jamar, Amon-Ra, Malik Neighbors, and we still putting AJ Brown up there.
I honestly don't think you can right now. He's not. I mean, he got
CeeDee Lamb,
a
there you
little
go.
bit
It's
better
the other
this week.
CeeDee
Yeah,
Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like that's just you know, it's really funny to me that 2020 draft that Jerry Jeudy and Henry Ruggs went before CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson.
I mean, hindsight's always 2020 in these drafts because I feel like Jerry Jeudy coming out of college was a very good prospect. Henry Ruggs. I mean, you're out of Alabama. I still think Henry Ruggs would be a really good player. Obviously, if his legal issues weren't, taking over his
This is
life.
a
But
for what it's worth, this is an insane take. Like, because like just being like, if
oh
this guy
no.
wasn't in prison, he could ball.
Well, I listen, right? I mean, you gotta it's like removing the artist from the music, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna advocate for R. Kelly, but he made great music. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna sit here and defend
Yeah,
the
like Henry
act.
Ruggs, bad dude. But you're just saying
Yeah,
if we could clone him,
sure.
there was talent.
There was. I mean, Nick Saban saw it. Like I did
This is
too, you know what I mean?
incredible. This
So
is I will not
yeah.
clip this. I promise. This will not be clipped.
I hope somebody at home does though.
I did
Oh
see I
man.
got an alert from Spotify that apparently I've crossed 500 streams all time, which
Wow.
I've been on Spotify. I think I put the podcast on Spotify for about 2 years now, so you can do the math. I'm not putting up
Mhm.
elite numbers, I must admit, but I appreciate everyone who streamed. It's very kind. I think most of it is my mom. So it's very, actually my mom watches on YouTube, so I take that back. I think my sister and Genevieve both listen on Spotify, so they're helping us out. Maybe
There you
Genevieve's
go.
just listened to every episode like 5 times. I don't know, but
That's support.
um, I will say, can I make a rule for EV passes? This
Let's
is
do it.
I'm stepping in. I think we should, if a team disappoints you too much, they become a no bet team.
I
And
like
I
that.
would like to say the first inductee is the Houston Texans.
I would concur.
I
100%.
think don't like if they're in a game, don't do the spread because they're in that terrible spot where I don't think they're awful, right?
hmm
Because someone could be like, "Oh, well, the Saints are terrible. They're a no bet team." No, what's fade the Saints,
Right,
right?
right. Yeah,
The Texans, there's a world where
yeah.
like if you this game if
Unpredictable.
yeah, if this team like in Madden, right? You could play as this team in franchise mode and go 17-0, no changes. On all
Yeah.
Madden, if you know what you're doing. This is a really good team.
hmm
I really like their coach. But in execution, it's not there. CJ Stroud might be the first guy to be washed in his third year. It's absurd. I don't know what happened.
You know, it's got to be the Ohio State quarterback curse. And I just feel like his rookie season, he took about probably 15 to 20 years worth of like good Ohio State quarterback luck and just wasted it all on, a playoff run. And again, they got there last year. They won a playoff game. Great. But I saw that stat since he met Caleb Williams out, they have just had polar opposite careers since that game last year. Um,
Like,
I
yeah,
don't
like Caleb Williams' career's
know.
been good since then. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
Oof.
he's had like 27 touchdowns and 5 picks. He's been terrific in like the
Really?
passing department. Yeah, he has been. He's been
The
great.
tape does not like for what it's worth, I'm very eye test with the
Yeah,
with
yeah,
NFL. I don't give a shit what the stats say about Caleb Williams. Like the Stephen A. Smith,
yeah.
that brother is special.
Hmm.
This is the reverse. That dude is ass. Like I'm just telling you right now. Well, I guess he's not ass. I should take that back. But he's not
He's
special.
improving, but yeah, I agree. I don't think.
He's not
Yeah,
ass. I should stay. I don't. He's not terrible. I just don't think he's
yeah.
like special.
But
So
again, we go back to Stroud. Like it's not like he doesn't have help. Like if you put him on the Browns and you give him Cedric Tillman and Jamari Thrash, I'll be like, hey, we need to get you a receiver and maybe some offensive tackles. Like I get that. But this dude has Nico Collins, Tank Dell when healthy, Dalton Schultz. He has Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb in the backfield. He has a great supporting cast, and he just doesn't do anything with it, which is the
on
inherent issue.
on paper, this is a better roster than it was 2 years ago when he was
Hmm.
incredible. Doesn't make
I just
sense.
think it's the underdog mentality. I don't think, Rex Ryan talks about loving to not be under the radar. I think CJ Stroud needs to live under the radar. People need to forget about him for about a good 4 or 5 weeks.
What if he's Baker Mayfield, but it's like a less interesting Baker, where it's like he's gonna kind of resurge in a few years, but he'll be kind of mid for a bit here. But like, I'm gonna be honest, I love Baker, and I know I might be a little biased saying this. I don't think Baker was ever this bland.
No.
Like with Baker, when he failed hard. But when
Hmm.
he won, it was electric.
Right.
And now he just doesn't really seem to fail. Like he just rocks it. I mean, once again, the Bucks got it
Hmm.
done.
Yeah.
Bucks money line might just be fun every week. Like just throw a dollar on Bucks money line
3 weeks in a row, game winning drive. I
because they're
mean, you're
never
gonna get your
favored too
entertainment.
heavily. Like
Right.
what's the spread for them this? Like what's the money line for them this week? What's the value on that?
I don't know what the money line is. I'll tell you what the spread is though, because I have this,
Yeah,
and
what's up?
we'll
What's the spread?
we'll roll into that.
I'll pull it
Uh,
up.
Bucks plus 3.5 because they play Philly this week in Tampa.
Oh, well,
So
okay. So yeah, I should actually just bet them. I actually might for fun right now.
that's fair. I think
That's
it's fair.
actually
But
that's actually because they're definitely not gonna be. Philly's gonna be the minus.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I was just
Yeah.
gonna roll straight into this actually.
Yeah,
I
you
might as well
start
just
up.
start.
I'm gonna look for this bag.
I'll,
They
I'll just start
are
with Bucks plus three and a
okay.
half
Okay.
at what is it, minus 115 this week.
Yeah.
Um,
Good.
again, we just talked about it. Baker Mayfield, 3 game-winning drives back to back to back. Um, just a team that, like, even last week when they tried to throw away the game with that blocked field goal return for a touchdown, and everyone's like, "Wow, like they blew it." Baker Mayfield just puts his helmet on, makes it personal. I mean, he has some like vendetta against a coordinator, a player, a coach, an owner in every NFL franchise, it feels like. And you do not want to give that guy a reason to be fired up. So, having, the Jets coach being the defensive coordinator that cut him, I think he said in Carolina, just made it that much more special in Aaron Glenn. But, another thing too, historically, Tampa Bay's had the Eagles number for a good 3 or 4 years now, whether it's in the playoffs or the regular season. Like, they just don't impress me. Now, had the Eagles lost last week, I actually might have not taken this, but it's the fact that they snuck away with a win and they kind of got quite lucky in the process. I just don't think I trust the Eagles any more this week than last week. So I'm taking the Bucks at minus 115, plus 3.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna just place them straight up money line because it's plus 158 on FanDuel. I like that. And I'm gonna use
It's
a
good
no
value.
sweat and then just bet it again. Does that make sense?
I like that. Yeah.
Like a dollar no sweat and then just bet it again. That's my system. I mean, the argument here is like, oh well, you know, the argument here is like they've had such good luck, it's gonna run out. And I get that. I mean, I just put like a dollar on it. I'm not getting
Hmm.
crazy. But I get that, but I just think the Bucks look better than the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks have a top five defense. I think they might have a top five offense. They might have the best receiving core in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's like what, them, the Lions, the Eagles?
Yeah, I'd say the Bengals too, bro. I think Yossi Vash is a great wide receiver three, but that's my personal vendetta.
I love that take. I think most people don't know his name. I forgot
Mhm.
his name until you said it. That's incredible. That's a no. I like this pick though. What's your next one? I
All right,
always love
we are
betting on
gonna
Baker. Like I'm gonna root for him every game.
100% because at the end of the day, even if you lose, he's gonna make it entertaining. They're not gonna get blown out. It's gonna
He's
come down
also a
to
fun
one
one. Like if
possession.
you're down 10 going into the fourth, yeah, you're sweating it, but you're like, it's Baker. Like
Yeah,
it's just
like
more fun. Like he wants it to win it more badly than you do, which is just always fun.
yeah. All right, I'm taking the Bills minus 16 and a half this week. They play the Saints in Orchard Park. Listen, I don't know if there's anything worse in this world right now than being a fan of the New Orleans Saints. Um, I was actually driving back up from home during their game against Seattle, but I think it was maybe 5:15, 5:30, and I looked at my phone and it was like 21 to nothing already.
Yeah,
I, you
brutal.
know, it's one thing to just be a bad football team, but I think the Saints are just in a place now between their cap space and the age of their players. It's just depressing. It's not even football, so to speak. You're just playing a long waiting game that's going to take a lot of time to financially and mentally recover from. And we haven't even talked about the Bills yet. Um, they didn't cover last week against the Dolphins, which you were all over that, by the way. And I had a very strange feeling that Miami might keep that a little bit closer
It was a bad
than I
beat for
expected.
me.
It was. Well, that and the Packers, too,
And
because
the
you
Packers,
were
the
all over the
two
Packers
bets I
pick.
had. It was funny because I had those two with the money line Lions, and then the
Mm,
Lions. I mean, they
yeah.
came through in dividends. I just should have bet the Lions straight up. This is why I'm
Yeah.
not messing with anything this week. I just straight up bet the over on the Ole Miss game, which I never bet college, but this is
Yeah.
for the bit. And
Yeah.
then I just straight up put money in the Bucks. Like I don't even think I'm gonna do any parlays this week. Like I think I'm just gonna be straight up like $1 money lines.
Mm.
Don't play around this week.
That's fair enough. But yeah, that's minus 108 on DraftKings. And again, I just think I think my final score is 41 to 3. It's just gonna be a blowout, bloodbath. So
Who are they playing?
Bill Saints.
Oh my gosh, are you serious? Sorry, I was like zoned out when you were talking
No,
about it
you're
because I
good.
was thinking
Yeah.
about the Saints. Because I was thinking I usually just like to yeah, I might just throw money on that just to get it back. I mean that's
Hmm.
free. But
I
what
would
they're
say that.
what's the money line on that?
Literally probably minus 2,000.
Yeah. I mean it's
It's
not is it even worth it at that point?
no, absolutely
No.
not.
There's no
No,
value. That's
no.
facts.
All right.
That's why you have to do spread. Makes sense. What's next?
We're gonna roll straight into. I'm taking Commanders money line minus 122 this week. They play in Atlanta. They're only 1.5 point favorites, but it's gonna be a battle between Marcus Mariota and Michael Penix. And actually, I'm not sure if Daniels will be back or not. I think based on this line, they're projecting he won't play.
Yeah. Which
Which
might be
again,
why you want to hop in now.
right? Yeah. Which again, I don't think matters though. Like the Commanders as a whole can get behind a backup quarterback better than the Falcons can with Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah.
I still don't think he's ready to be a starter in the NFL.
I agree.
I actually
He was
thought
awful
he
last
would
week.
be, yeah, I thought him and JJ McCarthy would be in opposite places mentally in the NFL. I thought McCarthy would be a very slow roller. I thought Penix would fit great into the system, being a dual threat quarterback. He looked awful last week
Hey,
against Carolina, nonetheless.
we have the
If you
worst
look bad
defense. I don't
against
know how
right,
we won. Like I
you
don't
look
know.
good
That's the
against
weirdest win.
yeah, you look bad against a good team, whatever. Maybe it's their defense, maybe it's just the players they have, but it's the Carolina Panthers, and you didn't score a point. With all due respect,
No,
you didn't
no,
score a
there's no reason
point.
for respect. No, there's no reason
Yeah,
for respect. Yeah.
I have no reason to even think twice about looking at anything Falcons related. And the fact that Washington's minus 122, I think it's a steal of a line.
I think if it was a different team and it wasn't Washington, I'd be like, well, the argument is the Falcons are pissed off and this is a get things right win, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think this commies team has become underrated. Like I think everybody just assumes they're not going to be as good this year,
Yeah,
and I still think the commies are pretty good. They're what 2-1?
yeah, 2-1.
Who did they lose to?
Packers Thursday night football.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's what I'm saying is everybody just like acts like this commies team doesn't exist. Like even me, I just forgot they played on Thursday
Right.
Night Football like 2 weeks ago. Like that's what I'm saying is like nobody's really discussing the commies, and I still think they're a good team. I still think they could be a threat to win the division, and I agree. I'm with you on this one. That's a good pick.
Yep. Okay. Rolling into we're in the 4 o'clock games now. Taking the Rams money line this week against the Colts. This game is at SoFi Stadium. Long trip for Indianapolis. And listen, I am all for
You really
Indiana
want to bet
Jones.
against the Colts.
I do because it's the Rams. If it's any other team, I don't even think I would bet the Lions against the Colts right now. But I just think the Rams at home, they're a very weird beast to tame. And if there's any quarterback that's going to be like, hey, we're shutting down the ship, it's going to be Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones can only listen. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. It's so funny. It must be awful to be a Giants fan too, watching Saquon run for 2,000 yards and Daniel Jones become an MVP front runner for no reason at all.
But they're
But
America's favorite shitters right now. Everybody
they are,
loves
they are.
them.
No, Camp Scadaboo's a great guy. He's going to have
I'm
like
gonna have to
major
buy a jersey.
CTE.
I love
I
him.
might have to as well, but he's going to have some major CTE in about 3 weeks if he doesn't already. But I still think
He's speed running
money
CTE.
line at minus 175. Like that's they're 3.5 point favorites at home. And again, the Colts have been okay. They have had some good fortune, especially in that Broncos game with the leverage call. Like they are a couple plays away from maybe being 1-2. And I think Denver's a couple plays away from being 3-0. So the records really don't tell you a whole lot. But I like the Rams here with Stafford.
Okay, so obviously I haven't been betting very long, right? I don't think I've ever bet a Rams game because I don't like ever want to bet against Sean McVay. I think he's probably just flat out the best coach in the league.
Yeah.
I think period point blank it's probably him. And I think Stafford is probably like the fifth, sixth, or seventh best quarterback in the NFL.
Mhm.
And it doesn't matter if you can only name three players on their defense, that's still going to be a good defense. Like Sean McVay is just good.
Yeah.
And so I don't like to bet against them. But this Colts team is weird. And it could be they're just the hot team right now. They're going to fall apart and come back to earth. But I don't want to bet against it or on it yet. So this is a complete stay away from me. But that's fun. What's next?
I completely understand that though, to be honest. Like it's a very weird game, but again, like I just think because the Rams didn't cover for me last week, this might be one of those like rage bets that I throw out, and
Your
I'm like,
revenge.
you better,
Okay.
yeah. If you don't cover, you're on the ban list next. But like, I do love the Rams in this one. I'm taking though, staying on the West Coast. I'm going with the Niners money line against the Jaguars. When these two teams play, it usually gets pretty ugly. And I think the fact that Jacksonville, that might be the longest trip actually in the NFL, either that or from Jacksonville to Seattle.
Yeah.
Um, it's like 2,000 miles, which is not a fun flight to make. I do think jet lag might actually play a bit of an effect here, but Niners just to me are a lot more of a complete team. 3-0 right now, but I feel like they're a very under the radar 3-0 team just because of what's going on with Kittle and Purdy and all the other injuries that they've suffered already. Um, and you look at the Jaguars too, a very interesting team. They're a couple plays away from being 3-0 themselves. So I didn't think Jacksonville would actually even keep it close last week. I figured Houston would come out angry and beat the brakes off them. But I got to give them credit. They have looked good. And as a Browns fan, we have their draft pick next year. It's not something I want to say, but I have to give them their respect. They've actually done very well for what little resources they've had. I just think, though, a 2,000-mile trip into Santa Clara on Sunday, I don't like their odds. So I'm taking Niners money line at minus 166 this week.
I still haven't figured out the Jaguars. I don't want to do anything with them. I don't really know what to think. I don't know if this is a 7-win team. I don't know if this is a 10-win team. And people like might be like, "Oh, it's not that big of a difference." That's a huge difference in the
Oh,
NFL. I
absolutely.
mean,
That's
like,
that's playoffs or a top 10 pick, essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I'm not sure what this team is. I think even if this team goes to the playoffs, trading up for Travis Hunter looks terrible right now. Like he's
Mhm.
not a game-changing receiver for you, nor is he a game-changing defender. Also,
Right.
like if you're trading up like that and trading next year's first, you better be getting an elite edge rusher or a quarterback. There's
Yeah.
really no
No,
other
I,
position
I
to
agree.
play. Like if a team next year trades up like that high for Josh Downs, Caleb
Yeah.
Downs, um, I'd be like, yo, it's Caleb Downs, but in the same sense, like, let's be real. Even if
Yeah.
Caleb Downs is as good as I think he's going to be,
You're giving up a lot.
give it up a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why. Don't we have an Ireland game this week?
We do. Vikings and Steelers.
That's just a complete stay away when it's Ireland, right?
Yeah, I'm not sweating bets at 9:30 in the morning with all due respect. So
You wake
like
up in a cold sweat and you're
I'm
like, oh shit, the game
was
started.
gonna say, yeah, I'm not waking up in cold sweat to watch Aaron Rodgers throw like 2 touchdowns at a pick. It's not for me. So
Also, like the Steelers are not a fun team to bet on, and I
oh
would like to
no,
bet on the Vikings, but is it still Wentz? Because I don't want to bet on Wentz.
it is still Wentz, and that game is a complete stay away.
Never in my life have I seen everyone pretty much unanimously agree that a quarterback wasn't that good, even though his team blasted the other team. Like
Hmm.
everybody was like, yeah, Wentz didn't play that well, but damn, is this Vikings team's good. I think the Vikings might be what I thought the Broncos were. And I still want the Broncos to be what I thought they were going to be.
Okay.
But this Vikings team is very good. And I think there is a chance that this team is just built perfectly and they're pretty sustainable. Like they're gonna be like this for a while. They have great coaching. And I think as long as JJ McCarthy can run the system, I think they're like a sneaky contender.
We'll see. And again, I had them 4-13 preseason, so I'm cooked already. They have 2 wins. That sucks. But I'm glad they're proving me wrong though, because like it would have been a very depressing turn to go from 14-3 to 4-13.
Unless like for some
So
reason their plane in Ireland like gets hijacked and they're stuck in Ireland, like they just can't leave.
yeah.
Like they're playing like the guy's like, yeah, the plane's ruined. We have to be here for 4 months in Ireland. You can't get back. That's like the only possible way that they don't win going
They're
forward.
going to keep them hostage, force them to learn Gaelic football over there in Ireland.
That's it. Yeah, they're gonna capture the Vikings. They're like, we're gonna get you reverse your namesake. We're gonna kidnap you.
I like
Anyways,
that.
what's your last pick?
All right, closing out the week 4 slate, we are going to rock with the over on the Ravens and Chiefs game. It's
Oh yeah,
48 and a half this week. I don't think 48 and a half does that number justice because this Ravens offense has been unbelievable. More so, their defense has been some of the worst that I've ever seen, at least in the secondary. I think their pass rush has been okay. They've been a bit banged up, but they couldn't stop a nosebleed, truth be told. I really don't like this defense at all. And I think I saw a stat where like quarterbacks that have thrown 9 touchdowns and no picks in the opening 3 weeks, every one of them have been 3-0, except for Lamar Jackson, who is 1-2.
yeah,
That's just because of how bad that defense is. And again, you look at how many points they put up each week: 40 against the Bills, 41 against the Browns, 30 against the Lions. And the only one that they've actually played well in was against Cleveland because they have no offense to answer with. So, you put them up against the team in Kansas City. Well, I feel like it's just like a baking soda volcano right now. They are ready to just have a great offensive game. And I thought that would come last week against the Giants, and it didn't. So it's just prolonging the explosion for me. I think it might happen this week against the terrible defense because I actually think the Giants defense it's actually pretty okay. It's just that quarterback situation, which is terrible. But I think 48 and a half is way too low. I would have set the line more along like 51 and a half here. So I think you're getting good value there at minus 115. And that is the last leg. So 10 will win you $308 if you bet all 6 on a parlay.
all right. That one I like, but it feels too obvious.
Right.
That's the only thing is it feels way too obvious. And it's like, what if the Ravens come out, offense is slow to start, Chiefs have their number, they get going in the second half and they win like 21-10. And then you're like, well, shit. That's the only thing I'm afraid of.
It might be a good old case of like the Vegas
28-10
hook.
would here's the thing, 28-10 wouldn't cover.
True. Yeah.
That's the only thing with me.
My final score for this game this week is 38-35 though.
I don't think the Chiefs can put up 35 points.
I don't think that they should. I
How many
just
did they put
think
up
the
on the Giants?
Ravens
Like 29?
22. I don't even think they put that many more on them. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think this
Yeah.
Chiefs team. You're basically betting on the Ravens, in my opinion, scoring 35 or more because I don't trust the Chiefs to score much.
Again, I'm trusting the Ravens defense to be untrustworthy though. That's my other
Facts.
additive
That's
in that.
facts. That's
So
fine with me. It's fine with me.
yeah.
You want to get in primetime picks?
Let's do it. Let's talk about last week too, because you swept, I'm pretty sure, right? 3-0.
Yes, I did. I was going to
There you
bring that
go.
up. You were keeping track. All right, yeah.
Yeah.
So we were the same on everything. Monday Night Football was the tiebreaker. I took the Lions, you took the Ravens. I pretty much took them just because I wanted to see them win. And
Mhm.
now the Lions, I think we have to give credit to Dan Campbell. He is the reason they are good. They're the Lions of old. I think they're trusting Jared more and using Jamison Williams more. Laporta's blocking more, and they're running it more. Like they're
Mhm.
doing less trickery. They're doing less fancy stuff. But I really like what they've been doing offensively. I think they're back to the Lions of old, and maybe Dan Campbell was just build a team to last. Like they're just going to be good like maybe it's just like a Mike Tomlin thing. Like they're just gonna be good every year, and like eventually they'll
Yeah.
break through and win a Super Bowl. I hope. So I
It,
mean,
it might have to
credit
be.
to them.
That play they ran on 4th and goal where I
Yeah,
forget who they handed it off to. I think it was Sam Brown, and he pitched it back to Jameer Gibbs or Montgomery, whoever it
that
may
was
have been.
nice. Yeah,
I mean, that was straight out of Ben Johnson's playbook. And to me, after watching them week 1 lay an egg against the Packers, I was kind of questioning, like, was this identity in their offensive coordinator or is it still in Dan Campbell? Because keep in mind that season that, they went 0-8 to start the year, and then they kind of built their way up. They won like 7 games in a row to end the season, made the play. They've constantly been taking steps up. And then all of a sudden you have a great offensive coordinator leave. It's like, who is this team really? And I think on the national stage against one of the best teams in the AFC, they really showed who they are and their creativity too. I mean, they were flawless. I just felt like the Ravens, even with the Derrick Henry fumbling issues being self-imposed, I just felt like the Lions actually were the better team against the Ravens, which doesn't happen at Baltimore
I
games a
agree.
lot of times. They beat themselves. So
I agree. All right. Primetime picks week 4. We got a double for Monday Night Football, so be ready for that. Thursday night, that'll be coming on tonight for the people that are listening, recording this Wednesday. I have Seahawks over Cardinals.
yeah, no, I do too. I think we can both agree with this one. I have it 17-14. NFC West games for me are almost always low scoring.
This is in
Uh,
Arizona, right?
Yeah, in Glendale, but I still don't think it matters. Seattle's a team I really can't get a grasp on right now just because their opponents have been so unpredictable. Obviously, with the Saints, the Niners week 1, which was a close game, and then Pittsburgh, who you couldn't guess if they're going to win or lose next week,
Yeah.
no matter who they play. But I just do think Arizona. Kyler Murray didn't really impress me a ton last week, and Marvin Harris Jr. is having a lot of dropping issues. So I think this game stays low scoring. I like that Seahawk defense. I'll take them in a close one.
I like the Seahawks team. I think it's like a sneaky 10-win team. I think Mike McDonald's a good coach. I think he's building something nice over there. I don't love Darnold
Mhm.
there. I'd be interested if there's any possibility Milrow becomes something for him. I wouldn't bet on that, but it'd be fun if he did. But I think they're building something. And Jackson Smith and Jigba has been getting more targets, and he's obviously quality. Sunday Night Football, Packers over Cowboys. I just said it. Yeah, I mean, there's no.
Yeah.
We don't. Do we need to talk about this? I mean, the Packers
No.
weird loss to the Browns. Classic Browns win. Packers are
Yep.
still, I think, a great team. I don't think they're definitively the best team in the league, like people are acting like they were.
Mhm.
I think they are one of the main contenders. There's probably like 5 or 6 teams that are the main contenders.
I would agree.
I think they're gonna. This will be a slow start, though. I don't think it's going to be an immediately thrashing. I think it'll take a little bit to get going.
I think Micah Parsons actually like gets the game started with like a forced fumble or something
Oh
like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. I like that.
Just a narrative builder. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Monday Night Football, Jets versus Finns. This one's in Miami. I have Jets.
I do too. I don't even know if I want to watch this game, to be honest with you. Like, it's just awful scheduling from the NFL in general. I even think about last week too. Who looked at that slate, all the great games we had at 1 o'clock, and was like, I want the Giants on Sunday Night Football. Like, can we stop doing that? I know they're a great marketable team, but like,
That's what it is. It's
they're not a
markets. That's why
good
Miami's here.
entertaining value at all. Yeah, Miami usually plays a Monday night game like once or twice a year, which is fine. But this year, oof, it's been rough. Now, credit to them, they looked a lot better last week. Um, I still think though that the Jets defense is one of the better units in football, and they really haven't got to show that yet because their offense has not been on the field like at all. So their defense has been winded. I think this is their opportunity though. Hopefully Brees Hall gets going for my fantasy football sake. And I got the Jets 17-7 in a close one.
I'll watch this because I like Aaron Glenn and I want to see him have success in New York. Is Justin Fields gonna be back?
I don't know, actually. Let me take a look at that while you keep talking about this
It doesn't
game.
really make a difference. I'm taking the Jets either way. Next one in Denver. Bengals are going to travel to the Mile High to face the Broncos. I think this is a Broncos win. I think that defense is really good. Maybe this is the game we see Nixie kind of come back together. I think Browning hasn't even gotten the backup QB bump. He's been bad, legitimately bad. And everybody's making jokes saying to go get Jameis Winston. At least with famous Jameis, it'd be entertaining. So I think Broncos easily. Are you going to join me on that?
Yeah, no, we agree on every primetime game. I have them 33-10. This is actually going to be my Survivor League pick this week. Second heaviest favorites of week 4. I think that offense, having lost the last 2 games on a game-winning or game-losing field goal, I think it's really going to put some more fuel in the fire, open their eyes, and they have to go out and win the game in the first 45, not the last 15. But yeah, that Bengals offense, despite all the talent they have just looked awful. And I do not trust Jake Browning whatsoever right now. So I think this is a good Bo Nix bounce back game, like you said, though.
Nixie's got a fan in me. Apparently, I just like the quarterbacks with the number 10 because I broke up with Herbert and now I'm with Drake May and
Mm.
got a soft spot for Nixie. He's like my side hoe.
I don't want to talk about Herbert here, actually, real quick, or more on the Chargers. I didn't really
Oh
get a
no.
chance to mention this though.
Oh no.
I have had that man crush on them all season long.
Oh no.
Um, you're gonna hate this. I'm taking the Giants to beat them this week.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I'm out. Remember, Herbert and I are broke
No,
up.
I know you don't like him, but like that's a very bold pick. A 3-0 team, on the road against an 0-3 team
What do you
starting their
think it
rookie
is? Why
quarterback.
why is that?
It's a very trap game for me. I just think the Chargers are going to look ahead to week 5 and they're not even paying this game too much mind.
Who do they
It's going
play
to
week
be
5?
who do they play week 5? Let me see. It's obviously going to be a lot more competitive than that game. They play Washington week 5, which is
Okay.
it's a very good matchup. And again, they'll have to plan for that. But you got to focus on the Giants first. And I just think it's a game where I have it 14-13. I just
Yeah.
think the Chargers are going to have like a couple of really silly turnovers, maybe a missed field goal, and it's going to be a lot like scenario 3 last week where you look up the clock and there's 2 minutes left and you're down by a point and oh, we turned it over on downs, we lost.
Yeah.
So we'll
I
see.
also think it's the Dart's first start, so they're going to be pulling out all the stops for him.
Mhm.
And I could just see like Jackson Dart makes a couple nice plays, and the announcers are like, "Whoa, here goes
Mhm.
Jackson Dart." I don't know why Collinsworth's still in the game in my mind, but you know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's Jackson Dart. It's like, that's a really nice pass there from the rookie. I agree. I could see that. What time is that? A 1 o'clock?
It is. And another thing too on that, like it's hard to get any type of practice on a quarterback without any professional game film.
Yeah,
So I think starting the rookie this week is a very bold thing. I'm shocked they announced it when they did. Pretty sure they called that like yesterday.
yeah.
So rolling into this week of practice. But I'm glad that Dable's at least bold enough to acknowledge that, hey, Russ was miserable to watch. Sorry, America, but we're done with that. Because every time Jackson Dart came on the field, the crowd would get back into it. Every time he left, they would just
He's
like,
fun. He's
whatever.
a
He,
fun
he
kid.
is. He's a fun guy
I'm
for
telling you,
sure.
they're America's favorite shitter. Like
Mm,
America likes this Giants team. I like this Giants team. Everybody,
mm.
my dad likes this Giants team. Like
Yeah,
there's something for everybody. You either like Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatterbo, or Jackson Dart, or you like all of them. I like all of them. I
I
have
like it.
Malik Neighbors in my fantasy team. I wish I had him in every league. I don't care he played bad last week. That dude is electric. Cam Scatterbo, I picked up in every fantasy league I could. He's
I
awesome.
should. I should really invest in
My
that.
dad had him, and I told him I was like, "Hey, I'm just warning you.
Yeah.
He is the backup." And so then
Mhm.
after week 1, he dropped him, and I was like, "Okay, well."
No,
You didn't
yeah,
have, I was like, I get it, but like you didn't have to do that. So
yeah,
then I picked him up.
yeah.
And then obviously Tracy went down. Not Tracy. Was it Tracy?
Singletary.
Singletary.
I
Thank you.
don't know who, but yeah,
Yeah, their starter went down. And so then Cam came starting. I was like, well, now it looks like I tricked him. I didn't mean for this.
yeah.
Looks bad on my part.
Is what it is there. I was gonna say I played the Vikings defense in fantasy last week.
Brutal.
Yeah,
I did too, actually.
it's awful. It was terrible. Him and Jonathan Taylor. So I lost.
Yeah, I have Jonathan Taylor in a dynasty league. I took him like 4th round back in 2020. That dude has like there were 2 years there it was rough,
Yeah,
but like the first 2 seasons of having him, and now it's just like
you're feeling good.
like, wow. This Colts team, I have yet to watch a full Colts game. Maybe this is the week I tap in. But thing is, Panthers Patriots, I'm excited for because either Drake May wins or my Panthers win. If the Panthers
True.
lose this week, I don't know how good we are. Like, I don't know if we're a shitter. I don't know if we're good.
Mhm.
Like, I have zero clue. So this is kind of the week we figure out what we are. Hopefully, we get a win.
Do you know how good they are if they win though? Because how good are the Patriots?
Patriots are a good offense with a bad defense, but with a
Okay.
coach that knows what he's doing. I think it's at floor 6-7 wins. I didn't
Mhm.
mean to do that. I legitimately didn't mean to do that. And then at floor a 6-7 win team, and then at height like a 9 or 10.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, Austin, I got to get moving. Great seeing you. I will talk to you again next. Well, I'll see you, but I say this
Yeah,
every week. They'll see you again next week. See you, pal.
we're going 6-0.
All right.